What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another tier list to bring to you. This one's a bit of a different one, isn't it, Sim? We're not ranking our midfielders, we're not ranking our strikers, we're not ranking anyone that plays for Tottenham Hotspur. We are ranking our summer transfer targets. It's the kind of the players that we've been linked with so far. How are you feeling? It's
the fun time of year, isn't it? This is the time of year Spurs fans all love. We all get stressed about. We all get endlessly disappointed about, and it's time to encapsulate our disappointment into a tier list. So let's talk about 20 players who we're not going to sign.
Yeah, we've got 20 players here, and we've got 6 tiers, and the tiers are must sign, good value, squad player, overpriced, unnecessary, and stay away. So on our previous tier list, you guys were complaining how we don't have enough tiers. So now we have oversubscribed on the tiers.
Yeah, more tiers, 6 tiers. Come on, more tiers the better, I think.
All right, well, let's get into the first one. The first one is probably the most likely one out of the lot, and that is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Yeah, and I think this one for me, I don't think it goes into must sign. Although I do think his position, I think he goes into good value, just because I think that's why we're signing him.
Yeah,
I don't think we're signing him because he's like unbelievable midfielder. I think he's a player, a position that we need, and he's coming for a cheap price. So I think he goes in the good value tier.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think if you're talking about a must sign, you're talking about like a world beater. You know what I mean?
If it was Thomas Partey, must sign.
Yeah, I mean, I'd put Thomas Partey in the must sign, but Højbjerg,
good value.
Yeah, especially at that age as well, and the price that we're going to sign him for. So yeah, good value definitely. Next up, let's talk about Max Aarons. For me, squad player.
Squad player? I think good value.
Depends on the price though as well at the end of the day.
He's been linked with Bayern Munich for around 20 million. So if he is around that price for a young English right back who has had a whole season in the Premier League and is in stats wise, I think he has for tackles, interceptions, he's near the top of the list. For a very pacey right back, I think it represents good value for me.
Yeah, but the reason I would put it into a squad player because he's only had one season in the Premier League really. He's only had one season in the Premier League. I've seen a lot of mixed performances from him. I think he played really well against Spurs each time. I think we played them 3 times this season, and I think I like the look of him when we saw him.
He's young though, very young.
Yeah, 20, you're right, but 19, it's one that can go either way, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think for me anyway, he represents good value. If you want.
So what are we putting him in?
One in between.
Let's put him in good value because I was going to put him at like the top end of squad players. So I wouldn't have been too unhappy if.
I think if we signed him, he would get quite a lot of games, in my opinion.
I think it also remains to be seen whether he's better than Aurier or can be better than Aurier. It's no definites there.
I think he definitely makes less mistakes. That's for sure.
Wow, you don't know that after it's only been one season. But anyway, let's move on to Ben Godfrey.
I think squad player.
Squad player?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a player who I don't think he would come for a big fee. He's a centre back. Like if he's a centre back, who would he really get that much playing time? In fact, I might even put him unnecessary.
That's what I was thinking.
I guess. Do we even need him? Probably not.
I was thinking unnecessary because when you look at the centre backs options we have, whether it be Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer, Toby Alderweireld, Japhet Tanganga, I don't think he's better than.
We've got the young English centre back covered. So do we need? I guess we don't. I think unnecessary.
I don't think he's better than any of those 4, and even Juan Foyth, you can argue, could be on a level with Ben Godfrey.
I think he's not in the stay away category just because he's not a bad player. So if we signed him, it's not like he would be a bad player for us, but he is unnecessary.
Yeah, I agree with that. Unnecessary for Ben Godfrey. Jamal Lewis, another Norwich player. This is just a Norwich team.
Norwich back 4. Yeah, we want to get relegated, don't we? But I think he's a young left back who I think had promising signs. Don't think he played as much as someone like Max Aarons, but I think he would, if we were to sign him, he would be battling out kind of with Ryan Sessegnon for the backup left back role. So
squad player for me.
I think squad player. Yeah, squad player.
Moving on to Philippe Coutinho.
Philippe Coutinho.
I'm just saying now, stay away.
Stay away.
I'm saying stay away.
I think for me, I would say overpriced. I put him overpriced because I think
the thing is, I'm saying stay away because he's overpriced. So it's kind of like
for me, the difference between stay away and overpriced is stay away is this guy is rubbish and he will be a flop and you do not want him anywhere near your squad. It doesn't matter what the fee. Overpriced, for me, overpriced is he's a good player, as Coutinho is. We all know Coutinho's a good player, but for the money we would pay for him, like we do not want to be going near that. In terms of that kind of money, he's too inconsistent. I think he's now been at 2 clubs in Bayern and Barcelona who, if he was really that good, he would be getting a lot more playing time, and he hasn't really cut the mustard there, has he?
Yeah, but well, you just said it right there, you know, like, I don't have faith in Coutinho to come to us and be a top signing. I think even when he was at his best at Liverpool, he was inconsistent then. And then he's left for pastures new to move his career on. Since then, Liverpool have won the Champions League and the Premier League title, and he's hardly held down a space at Barcelona. Well, he hasn't held down a space at all at Barcelona, and hardly got game time at Bayern Munich.
It's probably one of Barca's worst signings ever. 140 million they paid for him.
I would still say stay away, just because in the last 2 seasons he's been rubbish.
The only reason I don't put him on stay away is because I think if we did sign him, like, I don't think he would be terrible. I think he would be he would contribute to the squad. I think he would have good. I think he would contribute positively to the squad, but not for the money.
I just think it's a massive risk. Coutinho is a massive risk because you don't know if he's going to ever get his Liverpool form back, and even if he does get his Liverpool form back, that's still inconsistent.
Yeah, but this is a guy who has a lot of quality. No, there's no doubt about it, and he would bring his quality to the squad, just not on a regular basis. That's why I put him on overpriced.
Okay, we'll stick with overpriced then. Let's go on to Callum Wilson.
Callum Wilson, I'll say, is good value because we need a backup striker. He would come cheap from a relegated team, and I think he in 120 appearances for Bournemouth in the Premier League, he scored 40 goals. So I think he will be a good option if we were to get him in. So I think good value.
But he's also a squad player. If he was to come in, he'll be a backup striker. So I think he flirts somewhere between good value and squad player because he would be a good, valuable squad player.
Probably squad player then.
That's what
because he could easily be out the door in a couple of years.
I'm going for squad player.
Squad player then.
Let's move on to David Brooks, another Bournemouth player.
David Brooks, I think unnecessary. Maybe. Do we need him? Where that position, the attacking midfielder position? I don't really see it being a position that he'll be rivaling with Dele, Lo Celso. Like, I can't see him being really valuable in that for a player. And he would cost at least 25-30 million.
Yeah, if he's going to cost 25 million, that's definitely unnecessary.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
But I don't want to say stay away because he actually is an alright player.
Yeah, he's not stay away. I think he's a good player. He's just we don't need him.
All right, Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale. I think if there's ever an overpriced player, probably Gareth Bale.
He's overpriced. He's stay away. He's good value, and he's a must sign all in one.
And he's unnecessary.
all in one.
All in one. He's all 5 tiers somehow. All 6 tiers. I mean, I guess look, we're not signing Gareth Bale. 600 grand a week, or even if we got him on a free transfer, we still couldn't afford him. So that's how much he's on per week. So
unless you do an Adebayor deal where they pay half the wages or whatever,
even half, we can't afford. I think they have to pay we pay 5% of the wages, and then we'll see if the deal can be done. I think look, the Bale's a weird one because obviously I'd be excited if we signed him. It's just that I think it's been 2 years now where he really he's been a bench warmer. He seems to have stopped caring at all about football. I think he's done some of the best shit housing I've ever seen on the bench for Real Madrid. He's put the mask over his face pretending to be asleep and stuff. Wales Golf Madrid very famously.
Golf poses everywhere he goes.
So look, I think if he was on top of his game, I'd be more wanting it to happen at any price. But I think probably overpriced I'd put him in.
I'm going to stay away again.
Stay away. Oh, I'll put him in stay away then.
Look, this guy does not care about football anymore. It's not the Gareth Bale that we sold. It's not the Gareth Bale we fell in love with. This guy, if we were to make a Tottenham Hotspur golf team, then yes, he would be a must sign. But right now in football, stay away.
I think
his attitude is awful.
Yeah, true.
Timothy Castagne from
Atalanta. He's a right back, Belgium international. I think squad player.
Yeah, I would say squad player, but also I'm not too sure because he kind of lost his place in the Atalanta team this year.
He's made 23 appearances, I believe it is, for Atalanta
a lot
this
of
season.
them have been sub-appearances, though.
Yeah, he plays a lot for Belgium. I think he's he's not the kind of he's going to pull up any trees. He doesn't start for Belgium, and it's not like Belgium are blessed with right backs. So I think he's a player who might be he's versatile. He played right back or left back, so I think he might be a good squad player. But I don't think he's a player who you get too excited about.
Yeah, squad player. Kim Min-jae.
Kim Min-jae, I think good value. Because
I love it how we're going to put him in good value. We've never seen him play.
good value because
of his attributes.
Because he's South Korean. He gets the South Korean market, so I think you get your money back on that
straight away.
I
mean, that's good value in itself.
And I think he can challenge possibly to be starting in the starting lineup. So I think he represents good value there, and he can really push Sanchez, Toby, and Dyer for a starting spot.
Well, let's hope. We have never seen him play.
I don't see him play. The South Korean Harry Maguire, I think hopefully he's better than Harry Maguire. That's the only thing I can say. But, if Harry Maguire costs 80 million, I think this guy, if he costs about 15, it's good value.
All right. We'll put him into a good value. Zaha.
Zaha.
I'm going to put it out there. It's overpriced to me straight away.
Overpriced. See, the thing is for Zaha, I don't think he is overpriced. I just think he's a bit unnecessary. The reason I don't think he's overpriced is because I think for the quality he has, 50 million in this market is not that bad a deal for someone like him. I believe in Zaha so much. I think he's such a good player. I think he would be a real star for a top 6 team. I really believe that. I just think that first of all, he's overpriced for Spurs, but he's not overpriced in the market. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand that.
So I think for us, because we have Son, Bergwijn, and Lucas, I think he's unnecessary. But I wouldn't put him as an overpriced option.
I get your point in why he's unnecessary for sure. But I think when I said overpriced, I meant overpriced for Tottenham. I didn't mean overpriced in the general transfer window. I don't like Zaha as much as you do. I really don't. I think he's had a shocking season, really. He's carried Palace the last couple of seasons before this, but like I said in the previous video, once you down tools, sometimes it's hard to get it back, and I think Zaha could be under that category. I still think he's overpriced either way at 50 million. And even if we were to sign him at 50 million, I don't even think he's going to improve our team that much.
I think he would. I honestly think he would. I don't think he represents enough of improvement to really get 50 million, to really bid 50 million, but I do think he's an upgrade on I think he's an upgrade on Lucas and potentially Bergwijn as well. I think Zaha's such a special player, and I really do. I think he would be. I think he's been bogged down for being in Palace way too long. I think his big move. I know he failed at United years ago, but I think he's changed as a player. He's changed as a player big time, and I think he's got so much quality, finishing, dribbling. There's so few dribblers who has the skills that Zaha has, and I think he's unnecessary, but I would love him. I'm always tempted to put him in must sign, but I know unnecessary.
Must sign, come on.
Because he's so good. I really love him. I really love Zaha, but I'll put him on unnecessary.
I mean, if you were talking to me about this at the end of last season, I probably would have agreed with you. But his season this year has just been rubbish.
Yeah, but this guy has been battling relegation for how many years can a guy battle relegation for years and years and years? And he said last season, look, I want to leave. I want to play European football, and they couldn't agree a deal.
And he's a big Arsenal fan as well.
He is a big Arsenal fan. I guess that counts against him. Stay away. No, but I'm putting him unnecessary. You want to put him overpriced? We'll put him in overpriced then.
All right. Milik from Napoli.
I think Milik might even go into must-sign territory, only because could we get a better backup striker than him? He would represent a very good option as backup striker. He might be expensive, let's say 25 million, 30 million. I think he's got. Does he have 1 year left on his contract? Or
I'm not sure.
But let's say if he was between 25 and 30 million, I think for that value, I don't think you get many better backup strikers than him.
25 and 30 million is definitely overpriced for a backup striker that we're hardly going to use. We're only going to use, bring him off the bench if the game needs to be changed or if Kane gets injured.
Yeah, but everyone's saying we need a backup striker. Everyone's been calling for a good backup striker.
I'd rather a Callum Wilson than a Milik.
Why? Milik's better than Wilson.
I'm not sure he is.
I think he is. I think he's a quality player.
I've watched Napoli quite a bit this season when he's been playing. I really haven't been impressed. He gets goals.
Yeah.
But he's not such a great player. I mean,
and for Poland as well.
Yeah. I'm not so into Milik. I don't think he's that good.
I think there aren't many better backup strikers than Milik we could get, in my opinion.
I would say squad player.
Squad player? fine squad player.
I don't think at 25 to 30 is that good of a value for him. I would say more... How old is he, first of all?
27 maybe? 26, 27?
So maybe it is good value then.
He's 26. I think that represents good value. 38
Even
goals
at
in
26,
93 games.
At 26, is he realistically going to come to Tottenham to play second fiddle to Harry Kane?
He might believe that he could get a lot more playing time. He got 11 goals this season, 17 last season.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's got a pretty decent record for Napoli.
Last season was his real season. This year he hasn't been that good again, with the same as Zaha.
I would like him as my backup striker. I think he would be...
I just can't see a 26-year-old coming to play second fiddle to Harry Kane.
Well, maybe we can play them together. I don't know. Maybe give us options. I don't like that mentality. I don't from players who say, "Oh, we've got a good player." So it's like Barcelona. It's like a player rejecting Barcelona because Messi's there. So I'm not going to get anything. It's like surely you'd want to play with Messi.
Yeah, but it's highly likely that they won't see that much game time.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
At Barcelona.
I think Milik would see game time. I think the way, especially the way Jose plays. Look, he likes to tire his players out for the hour and then substitute the attacking players on and
but
get
Harry
a second
Kane
win.
never goes off.
Yeah, that's because we have no one to bring him off for.
Yeah.
So a bit of a squad player then.
Squad player, Milik. Llorente,
must sign. Finish. Next category. Look, I love Llorente. He hasn't been great for Napoli for the last year, but I still think he would be. I'll put him as squad player. I think he would be could be a decent squad player potentially.
When you're putting him up against Milik, it's hard to put them in the same category because Milik obviously.
Is a better player at the moment.
Yeah, is above the pecking order at Napoli. Llorente never really got many games. I know he's been injured for quite a while, Llorente, but even when he wasn't injured, he wasn't seeing many minutes, and Milik was seeing a lot more minutes than him. Milik was seeing a lot more Miliks than him.
Miliks, yeah.
So it's hard to put them in the same category.
So maybe we upgrade Milik.
We'll upgrade to what?
To good value, depending on how much he signs for. I think he would be good value, Milik. 26-year-old striker who bangs in goals.
All right, we'll put Milik into good value and put Llorente into squad player.
Because I think Llorente would still... I think with the way Mourinho likes to play, he could definitely offer something, Llorente, in this squad. But we're probably not going to re-sign him.
All right. Nathan Ake,
as a player who I think has good quality, depending... I can't see Bournemouth demanding too much from him.
I'm a big admirer of Nathan Ake. Really am.
And he can play left back. He can play centre back.
Yeah.
So I think,
and the point is that if you're looking to replace Jan Vertonghen, he's a ready-made replacement there, left side of defence.
I think he goes into good value.
Yeah, but the reason he doesn't go into must sign, well, does he go straight into our starting 11 if he signs?
No.
Do you not think so? Do you not think he's better than Davidson?
Potentially, but I don't think it's definitely. I don't think it's like clear. I don't think it's 100% clear of Davidson or Dyer.
When you look at it, he's to Man City.
Okay.
Man City are in talks with him. He's like 1 to 5 on to go to Man City. So he probably shouldn't even be in this tier list. I think he's better than Sanchez and Dyer.
Interesting. And he covers left back as well, so there's also another option there.
I would put him into must sign, to be honest.
You put him into must sign, for his value as well. He's good value. I think he's a quality player, Nathan Ake. I really do. I really like him. I think he's good, but I don't know if for me he doesn't go into must sign. Must sign is. I don't think he's that good. For me, he's good value.
I'll put him in good value. Ivan Perišić.
I like him.
Very good player. It's not really a position we need.
Bit unnecessary.
Yeah.
Bit unnecessary for me, Ivan Perišić. We've been linked with him. I know Mourinho's a big fan of his. He tried to get him from Man United, I believe, quite often, a few times. Hasn't been great at Bayern. Hasn't really got a look in with Gnabry and Koeman on the wings. Even so, they're not extending his loan deal, I think, to a permanent. That's why he's available. Inter don't want him. I think, look, he would be a good squad player if he came, but I think the signing would be unnecessary.
Yeah, I think it's a bit 2-3 years, a bit late as well.
Probably.
All right, we'll put him in unnecessary. Let's go to Willian, that scumbag.
Willian.
Free.
Yeah, he is a free transfer.
Free transfer. He's had a brilliant season.
I think this might even be his best season.
Yeah.
Like, I think stats wise
it is.
I think it's his best season. But was he? Is it? I think it's a classic case of he upped his game to play for a new contract. I think players always do that. I'll put him in.
Jose knows how to get the best out of him.
He's probably good value. I think he probably, because he's a free he's 31, 32.
31.
He probably is good value because of the player he is, and he's a free transfer. His wages will probably be at least 150 to 200 grand a week. But he's free. I think for the player he is, he's better than Perišić, for example.
Yeah.
So I think he probably would represent good value, even though he's not a position we desperately need. I think it's a player, it's a quality-wise where it's good enough to be a good value signing.
All right, good value. Let's go to Ryan Fraser.
Ryan Fraser.
Another freebie.
Yeah, but he's not as good as Willian, so I think he goes into because he's not as good in quality, he just goes into the unnecessary category. Because if he was a better player like Willian is on a free, then it's a good value. But because he's not as good and he was a position we're well covered in, he becomes unnecessary.
All right. Eberechi Eze.
Eberechi Eze. I know he's had a good season at QPR. He's positioned kind of either behind the striker or up front, that kind of position. Depends how much QPR are asking for. Because he's a championship player, probably squad player I would go for at the moment.
Depends how much money is, because what I've seen
he could be good value.
Absolutely brilliant.
He could be good value. Depending on how much they're asking. If it's like 20 million, but how much game time is he seeing next season if we sign him?
If we sign him, backup striker, competition for Lo Celso and Delhi. It depends how he does. I mean, if he comes in and plays a few good games, then he might see a lot of game time.
You think he's that good? You rate him?
I rate him. I think there's two players from the Championship who I'm really impressed with. That's him and Benrahma from Brentford. Like those two look like really good players. Eze, I'm going to put him into, I think 15, 20 million is good value for him. I really do.
Okay, good value then.
We haven't put anyone in must sign yet.
Have we not put one player? That just shows our targets, I think. I think that says more about our targets than it does about this tier. And
it's like, as well, when we're crying out for a CDM, there's only one CDM on there.
Højbjerg.
We're crying out for a right back. There's only, one right back on there?
There's Castagne on there and Aaron's.
Two right backs. So it's really interesting. Let's go to a second last, Zaniolo.
Zaniolo, so he would go in must sign.
Yeah. I mean,
only because he's that good, I think. Not because we're desperate for that type of player, but I think he is that good. If you get the opportunity to sign that kind of quality player, you have to take it, I think. If he's available for 45 million and he's willing to come to us, I think it's that kind of deal where you just have to take it.
But let's say our budget is 50, 60 million and he's costing 45 million, let's say. Do you blow your budget on him? Or do you get the targets that we need? The CDMs, the right back, left back, sub striker?
It's a good question. Probably get the ones we need.
Exactly. So he's not a must sign.
But he is a must sign because he's so good. He's so good. Like he becomes available, you have to get him. You have to break the budget to get him that kind of signing if he's available. That's why he's like that player is a must sign. He's class for he's young. He's like 21. He's got so much potential. He'll be a star.
You know what it reminds me a bit of? He's got the same physique a bit of Lamela, and Lamela was smashing it out in Serie A before he joined us as well. And you probably would have categorised him as a must sign.
I don't know if you would have. On
his YouTube compilation, you definitely would have.
Maybe.
100%.
Eric Lamela,
he looked amazing at Roma the year before we signed him.
True, and he hasn't turned out to be that player. So where did you put him as unnecessary?
I think, I mean, it's hard because he is a very good player, but you just don't know whether these players are going to acclimatise to the Premier League.
I think he would. I really believe he would. I think he's such a talented player. I don't know. But you're right. Obviously, you're right with Lamela. You could go either way. But I'm a big fan of his. Big fan of Zaniolo.
He could be overpriced as well at 40, 50 million.
I don't think he is. I think in that market, it's good value.
All right, you want to put him in good value?
It depends. Yeah, let's put him in.
It's really hard to tier these into the tiers that you've made.
Good value.
Good value?
Fine, good value.
All right. Last but not least, Lucas Vázquez.
Nah, he should stay away.
Real Madrid.
Rubbish.
Stay away?
Yeah, stay away. Rubbish. I don't like him.
All right, Vázquez, stay away.
Because he's rubbish.
This has been so hard.
It's been really difficult. It's been really difficult, but it's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, let me know in the comment section below where you would tier all these players. Let me know how you think our tier list rank. You can tier our tier. But yeah, I think it's been a really, really tough video to make. But I have enjoyed it. What about you, Sim?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been grueling, but I think we need better targets, honestly. I think that this list of players...
That's what it's shown us.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest... This is bigger what it's shown us. These are the main players we've been linked with, the last 20 players we've been linked with on around the media and stuff for the past month or so. And it doesn't inspire much confidence really going to the new season. It doesn't really show like major improvements in the squad, does it? Which is a bit of an issue. So hopefully we can get some targets from left field. Maybe we'll do another one, in a month's time with some more targets. But these are the targets we've got so far. So Spurs, get your finger out.
Exactly, big time. Levy, get your money out as well. So,
exactly, come on.
That is the tier list view of our transfer targets. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.